Brian Maranthus alongside Mike Fisher. We're at the Star Dallas Cowboys headquarters, but we're talking about the Dallas Mavericks because so much has been going on. And I'm going to put Fisher on the spot here and say, what was the best hire? Nico Harrison as GM or Jason Kidd as head coach?
Nico is the better hire because it's the more clever one. Jason Kidd was going to get a head coaching job at some point again. This is his third try at it. So he's on people's list as a head coach. But Nico Harrison, who has had opportunities to do this before, kind of gets scratched off people's list. Nobody thought of him as a general manager because he said no over the course of the years. So I would say Mark Cuban deserves credit for that outside the box grab.
Absolutely, totally outside the box. I lived in Oregon for a long time.
Yes.
And one of my good friends is best friends with Nico. And he reached out to me recently and said, just so you know, every NBA player loves Nico. So what a great steal for the Dallas Mavericks there, especially as they try to lure some more people alongside Luka Doncic.
Well, and the way this needs to work, because the two of them may have been a package deal. They're certainly a package deal now, Nico and Kidd. Players in the NBA love Jason Kidd, too. And even though there's reports that this isn't so, our eyeballs and our experience tells us that players in the league also like Luka. So you would like to think that the combination, by the way, the headline writers, including us, we sure like that these guys have four-letter names. Luka, Nico, and Kidd, very helpful. So Cuban, which is 5 letters, we appreciate you doing that for us.
And Maranthus, not so good.
No,
very long.
Fish. Fish works.
3 though, 3 letters, maybe actually wins that entire bet. Okay, so let's talk about that Luka Doncic report. NBA players don't want to play with him. Are you buying or selling this?
Well, Brian Windhorst of ESPN, obviously very respected voice, and he goes on 105.3 The Fan, and he kind of suggests it. He kind of says, I don't know how much guys want to, but when you boil it down, it's a suggestion that stars don't want to play with Luka. And all I know is every game, and you were at 40 of them this year, every game that we've seen in the entirety of Luka's career, after the game, not since Michael Jordan have guys on the other team gone to some guy and wanted to shake his hand and whisper in his ear and give him a hug. How that somehow transforms into stars don't like Luka, I do not understand. Now, what if it's stars think that he's so ball dominant that I'll never get the ball if I go there?
Which is interesting.
That's interesting and worth a conversation.
Yeah, but I would make a really strong case against that.
Yeah, well, I still make the argument that if Luka had a teammate, if Bradley Beal played here, Bradley Beal would lead the NBA in scoring, and Luka would lead the NBA in assists.
Absolutely.
So I think we're trying to find all the devils in what went wrong with the Mavericks, and I think we found the wrong one in Luka.
Okay, so do you have any predictions for what the Mavericks might do in this offseason?
They can't really be a player in free agency unless they move Kristaps Porzingis. If you keep Kristaps Porzingis and you keep Tim Hardaway, it only leaves you a little bit of room to do much. So I don't think that's a very attractive option. That makes it sound like you're basically bringing back the same bunch. I do think that the idea of hiring J.J. Barea, who is a Porzingis / Luka whisperer, the first guy, my understanding is the first day that Luka came to town, somebody took him to dinner, Nick and Sam's, and it was Barea. And the first day that Porzingis came to town, somebody took him to dinner, and it was Nick and Sam's, and it was Barea. So
that's funny. The first time I went to Nick and Sam's, guess who I ran into?
Mike Fisher.
Boban.
Ah, there you go.
I was like, that's Boban.
Yeah, it's hard to mistake him. He probably said that's Brian Maranthus from DallasBasketball.com. So that's a way to maybe save this marriage. But it's going to be really hard to keep Porzingis and add a gigantic piece. So I think the concept of moving Porzingis, who is not getting along with Luka Doncic, that's not a secret. I think that's the most gotta do it or else player movement thing that faces the Mavs.
Okay, now to put you on the spot, likelihood that you think Porzingis is in a Mavs uniform next season?
I would have to say that it is less than likely. Is that good?
Yeah.
Because,
on the lower scale of likely.
Right. First of all, it's hard to move him because it's hard to move anybody. It's hard to move any $30 million player. There's no such thing as an untradeable contract. People say that all the time, and then the next year the guy gets traded. And it doesn't mean he's not a good player. He is a good player. He's just not the superstar player that the Mavericks were hoping for.
Yeah.
And
He's not meshing.
the meshing
It's not happening.
doesn't work.
The chemistry is obviously not there.
Right.
When fans are counting how many high fives
I know.
Luka and Kristaps have had during the season,
Right.
something's off.
Which, by the way, I don't know that it manifested itself on the court in the sense that, oh, Luka won't pass him the ball.
No, it obviously did not.
That part wasn't the. It's just off the court and
Yeah.
on the airplane and in the hotel. You know, you have to live with these guys
Yeah.
like brothers, and if you don't like each other or can't tolerate each other, you have issues. I think that Porzingis can be salvaged as an NBA player.
Yeah.
But think about it this way: is Nico going to be a better general manager than Donnie? That would be hard to do. Is Kidd going to be a better coach than Carlisle? That's going to be hard to do.
For sure.
So if you come back with this same roster, you figure to be worse than you were last year.
And they're bringing in so many new faces. You got to imagine it's a part of a bigger plan to bring in more new faces.
It better be.
Yeah.